So it's the end of the year, and it's that time again. The second Superhero Show Awards 2014.
Uh-oh.
We want to change that.
Can we just change that on our award that isn't...
Let's get it re-engraved.
An old IGN Summer Movie Award that we've just...
That Michael Fassbender didn't want.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Never gave me his address. That's a 5. You keep talking, Dan.
We did this for the first time last year, second one, but fewer films this year.
Fewer films this year. So yeah, it's the show where we get up, we put our suit and ties on because that was the agreement. We did it last year, so obviously you and I have put a tie on. And so only 3 superhero films.
Yeah, but lots of superhero TV as well.
Lots of superhero TV.
So we're going to go through our categories. We're going to start with, I guess, the obvious one.
Yep.
Best hero.
Best hero.
That's what it's all about. Superhero show. Who is the best superhero of the year?
Yeah.
I think we were both in agreement on this one.
Yeah, a few candidates in Age of Ultron, a couple in Ant-Man himself, but we went for, drum roll, Vision.
Yeah.
What a cool, fun character.
Yeah, I think came out of, obviously we knew he was in the film, but not widely known as a character.
No.
Unless you're really into your stuff. Really fun character.
Yeah, likeable character, interesting character, really well performed.
Yeah.
And
powerful, like pivotal at the end of that movie. It's not like it's just chuck in another character.
Yeah.
He turns up and he's like related to everything. He draws on previous existing elements in the MCU using some of Jarvis's AI. Obviously Paul Bettany, who was the voice of Jarvis. So it's kind of a person who's been in the MCU since the beginning with Tony Stark. And now he has bodily form. And that's really cool.
He was genuinely heroic.
Yeah.
Like, the film was made better whenever he was on screen.
Yeah, towards the end. And his powers are great. And you could get that sense that he's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And we'll get on, maybe talk a bit more about him later on.
Yeah, but interesting to see where that character goes from there.
Yeah, because we know he's in Civil War, and he was in the footage they showed at D23 in a tuxedo playing chess.
Oh, really?
But he's completely absent from the Civil War trailer that came out last week.
Well, he's one of those characters where he's so powerful, it's how do you do a film around him?
He almost can't enter the fray.
In that way that in X-Men Days of Future Past, they didn't use Quicksilver at the end because he would have...
In the Civil War comic as well, Doctor Strange has to sit it out. Yeah. He's like, lads, I'm too powerful. I could stop this.
All right, next category, best villain.
Yeah, well, Ant-Man I don't think offered great options on this one, and neither did Fantastic Four.
Not Doom.
Victor Domashev. Which one is it? What's it called?
What? No, he's not. We're going to change it. Doom.
Is he a hacker?
He's a hacker. No, he's not.
He looks like a hacker.
All right.
Okay.
Enough of that. We have gone for
Ultron. Yeah. I thought he was really good. Like I thought he was almost like anti-Tony Stark. And like, he really pressed his buttons and he had character even though he was inhuman.
He was funnier than I was expecting. I was expecting him just to be pure evil, but he was funny. Not pure evil, but
evil robot.
Yeah,
You're not expecting bags of personality from that. And played by James Spader.
Yeah.
Great voice. And he has some great scenes where he like tears apart an older version of himself and appears behind it.
Yeah.
And he just likes to like wind people up.
They Got No Strings.
Yeah.
That was good fun.
Yeah, and we talk about this because, Marvel, been tremendously successful, but one of the recurring criticism is that, some of their villains are still lacking. Maybe he's still not, he's not the great superhero villain that I think Marvel will have at some point, but I think he was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a big film.
Yeah, and James Spader brought a lot to it. I could have actually done with seeing him being more evil, I think. I think, again... he could have done with more screen time, really. But when he was on screen, I thought he was a bit... Same as Vision. I thought that film came to life whenever one of those two characters was on the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
So congratulations, Ultron.
Yeah. If you want to pick up your order. Next is Best Action Sequence.
Yep. We debated this one a little bit as well.
Yeah. But that bit in Fantastic Four when they're in New York and all the stuff's falling...
the bit where Hulk comes out of the poster. The bit where Hulk comes out of the plane... Hulk thing.
Neither of them exist.
No.
It's
Are we going to keep taking the mick out of
No, we
Fantastic
won't.
Four?
We won't.
It's too easy.
Won't.
But we'll be honest, this is being dominated by 2 other films rather than Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and best action sequence, we can only give it to the end of Ant-Man.
Yeah, because it was different.
It was really different. There's a giant ant, and there's a giant Thomas the Tank Engine erupting from a child's window.
Yeah.
It's good, and it's funny, and it works, and it's like, you know, this film wasn't about the destruction of an entire city.
Yeah.
It was about, you know, saving one person, and it was a small-scale story of fathers and daughters.
Yeah.
We're better for the end set piece to take place than his daughter's bedroom.
Yeah.
And I really like, so there's 2 parts to it. There's the one with the train set and the fight, and then the second bit where he goes subatomic, which is the thing they set up really well in the movie. Like, earlier on, we know that Janet Van Dyne died doing this. It's an incredibly dangerous thing to do. And Scott does it. And it's a really trippy sequence in that movie. It's like going through the space gate at the end of 2001, and he keeps getting smaller, and you see microbes, DNA, atoms, and he keeps on going, so it's like string theory. It's a really weird thing to do at the end of a big movie like that. And I really liked it. I thought it was really worked well.
Yeah. And different. It was just something different.
It's not stuff blowing up.
Yeah,
it's like the opposite of that. Like weird imagery you don't usually get at the end of a big blockbuster.
Yeah.
So he should be commended for that.
Yeah, agreed. Next one is most memorable minor character. It's a new category this year,
Okay.
which I invented especially for Luis in Ant-Man, played by Michael Pena.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any of us were expecting that.
No.
It's a really strange, broad performance, quite a weird character.
There's some brilliant
But it's
scenes.
really, really funny. Definitely the funniest thing in the film, I thought. I saw some people saying it's racist. I don't think it's racist.
No.
Yeah, this was a thing that went around online. Yeah, it's just like you wanted to see more of him. I think I keep saying this about all these people, but like I'm waiting for a Louis spin-off.
Yeah, and like hopefully he's going to be a big part of the next Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and Wasp.
He will. It's one of those things, I think,
And
where in
they're
the same way that
sexy, yeah.
Quicksilver was so popular last year that the screenwriter said, I've got to write
Yeah.
more next time. I think it'll be the same with him.
Those were really fun sequences he had where he was like lip syncing
Yeah.
and like setting up the plot and like the heist and where the information came through.
Yeah.
Those are really fun scenes.
And he's not always that funny. Like he can be quite a serious actor, so it was good to see him like stretching his comedy chops.
Yeah. Best costume.
Best costume. Vision
again.
Vision again.
Because it's quite a ridiculous costume to have to do. I quite liked it.
Yeah.
I also like how it came about. So obviously he is. I like where capes are weird things for superheroes to have.
Yeah. Agreed.
You know, Alan Moore does a good thing on this in Watchmen. Like, it's actually a bit of a disadvantage. You probably get yourself killed by having a cape. You get stuck in an elevator and stuff. And I like the scene where he emerges and he sees Thor's cape and he goes, "Well, I'll have a bit of that."
Excuse me.
And he just it just grows out of him.
Yeah.
I really like that scene.
It's made me sneeze. It's made me sneeze.
Thinking about Vision's costume.
I can tell that people at home are thinking this could be Vision's year as we get further into the show.
Yeah.
And they might not be wrong. But next up, best performance.
Yep.
Now, Paul Bettany was someone I was thinking about for this as well. I thought it was a really
interesting, weird thing to be
understated.
Can you play a heroic robot, please?
Based on, you know, an adaptation of your voice. Let's develop that.
Which was basically like a computer.
But we didn't
like
go for
Siri.
him. We went for Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Why did we go for Paul Rudd, Daniel?
Because of all the heroes that exist in the Marvel universe, he's the loser. And it would have been quite easy. Like, you get Paul Rudd because you're setting him up as this kind of awkward hero. And it'd been very easy to, like, play up just the loser elements without rooting for him. But Paul Rudd is someone you also really want to root for, I find.
And it was more lovable rogue than I was expecting.
Yeah.
He might have been a bit of a loser, but he had that roguishness
because he set it
about
up
him.
early. Like, the reason he's been in prison is he's been taking down billionaires and not paying their tax and like shafting their employees. You know, he's a good dude.
Yeah,
but maybe just doesn't agree with the law. All
misguided.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really. I think he was perfectly cast. It was he got the abs, which was nice, and I really want to see him interact with some of the other Marvel characters now because I think he brings a lot to the table.
Because I saw the D23 footage, and again, they saved it from the trailer. You know, we know he's in Civil War. He doesn't show up in that trailer, and there's a sequence where he meets Cap, and he gets totally flustered. He's starstruck.
Yeah.
He starts like mangling his name, and he's going, "Hey, it's Captain America," and it's like you're almost a proxy for us because your film was its own thing at a tangent from the rest of the MCU. Suddenly you're thrown in with all these characters, and you're kind of like getting a bit starstruck. I think that's really cool.
It's cute.
It is cute. It is cute.
Next category is one that you've come up with.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm totally for this, but...
Well, it's the best use of CGI to de-age Michael Douglas.
And which film, which Michael Douglas are you talking about?
I'm gonna go with Ant-Man's use of CGI to de-age Michael Douglas.
I know what you're talking about now. Do you think it worked?
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought it was so good. I think it was some of the best effects in all the superhero films this year. That intro where it's 80s, it just looks so good, this digital makeup on him. And they did this previously in Winter Soldier where they aged up Peggy Carter, Haley Atwell's character. And I thought that was prosthetics at the time. Whereas this, because you know what Michael Douglas looked like in the 80s, there's quite a lot of films of Michael Douglas being Michael Douglas in the 80s. I thought it looked perfect. And I almost thought, I don't know whether it'd be too expensive or if you had to do it for an entire movie, the quality of the effect would probably suffer. But I just looked at that and go, I want to see Michael Douglas play Ant-Man in the 60s.
It's getting better, that de-aging, isn't it?
Yeah, what if they did a prequel called The Astonishing Ant-Man, where it's him doing like Black Ops?
For a whole movie?
Yeah.
I like it.
I do like that. I like Michael Douglas.
Yeah. It's certainly better than Jeff Bridges in Tron.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That de-aging didn't work.
No.
Funniest moment?
Funniest moment, I think it is going to have to be another Vision moment. We talked about it loads on the show, and it's the perfect setup and payoff because there's enough time that passes. It's because the setup is so good and self-contained, you don't even think it's a setup. So it's the scene where they're in the Avengers mansion and they're trying to pick up Thor's hammer, and nobody can do it. Cap gets close, Thor gets worried, and it's all nobody's worthy. And like Thor lords it up, going, none of you are worthy to be lift Odin's son's hammer. And then someone does.
Yep.
And it's a cool moment because of his connection to Ultron. You wouldn't know whether you can trust this Vision dude. He's appeared out of nowhere. There's doubts around him. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Even if he says he is a good guy, can we trust him? And in that one moment where he passes the hammer very nonchalantly, you just go...
Yeah, it's a joke that services both plot and character, which is as good as it gets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. All right.
What a good moment. That was a good moment.
That was the funniest moment. Saddest moment now. You had one and I had one, so we'll do yours first.
Yeah, my saddest moment is the reconciliation between Hope Van Dyne and her father, Hank Pym, in Ant-Man, because their relationship is entirely broken because he's lied to her to protect her. And then there's a scene where she finds out what really happened to her mother, that they were both superheroes, and to prevent this missile attack, her mum sacrificed her life and went subatomic, and she's been lost forever. And it's a really emotional scene. You get the flashback where you see it happen. You get Michael Douglas's character Hank reliving the worst thing that ever happened to him. She finding out this knowledge that her dad's actually not all that a bad dude who's trying to protect her. And it's a really sad moment, really poignant. And I also like the fact that Scott Lang Paulrudd kind of ruins it as well, because he kind of just intrudes and goes, wow, that was amazing. And it just like undercuts the whole thing as well.
I'm well enough thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a really good scene.
Yeah. Mine is different, and I'm going to go for all of Fantastic Four. Okay, next category. Best line.
Best line.
Can we play the line? Can you say the line?
I think we should play the line.
Okay.
Look, I just need to know, because the city is flying. Okay, look, the city is flying. We're fighting an army of robots. And I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
Okay, so far we've been concentrating on the big Marvel movies that dominated the year, but we've also done a category called Unsung Hero.
Yeah, that's because I think with the proliferation of superhero movies, and that there's 3 this year, there's 7 or 8 big ones next year, I think we're going to see more indie superhero movies. And there were actually a couple that came out this year, both found footage style. One was called American Hero and had Stephen Dorff in. I wasn't a huge fan of that one. But there was a British one called Super Bob, which was really great fun. A very super low budget, but it was a fun kind of satire of superhero movies, while at the same time kind of an homage to them. And it's just a day in the life of this superhero who lives in Peckham, and he's saving the world, but he's also trying to go on a date. He's single. He's a bit of a loser, really, and it's kind of, what if a loser got these powers? So yeah, it's not the best movie, but it was a really cute one, and I think it should be kind of celebrated, so worth a mention on here.
So far, the awards we've been giving out are for movies.
Yeah.
But TV, we're going to talk about TV now.
Well, it's gone crazy this year. How many superhero shows have we got now?
Just an absurd
8,
amount.
maybe?
And if you, I think you have to include Gotham as well, even though the Bat's not in it. Like, it's a
So
silly,
you've got
it's a silly amount.
Gotham, Arrow, Flash, Constantine disappeared this year, Supergirl arrived, and then we have the Netflix shows.
Daredevil, Jessica Jones.
Yep, so we liked Flash. I enjoyed Flash. I enjoyed Agent Carter, actually.
Agent Carter's really good.
Yeah.
And also, like, Flash, I like the Flash. You know, we've discussed this lots on the show, how why don't they make it showing up with the movies? Why? Like, one of the reasons Flash is good, you can just have it all.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even holding back or doing. It's having Gorilla Grodd in it.
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts to me, and I think that's brilliant that they're just going for it. Very unself-conscious, just free to go for it.
But we haven't gone for it. We've gone for Daredevil.
Yeah.
Because we think it's the best one.
I do think it's
Just
the best
about.
one. Yeah, I like Jessica Jones, but I really like Daredevil.
Yeah. Great action, great villain.
Unbelievable villain, yeah.
Yeah.
And I really like Charlie Cox. Like, I know there were some doubts before this show came out. I hadn't seen him in all that much, but I think he nails all sides of that character. He can do the action well. He does the Catholic guilt thing very well.
Yep.
He does the ladies' man thing really well, which Matt Murdock is as well. I really like him as that character.
It's a great show. I mean, it was so good that they're already rushing season 2 into production. And so hopefully we'll see that sometime in 2016.
Yeah, with Punisher. Final award.
Best movie.
Best movie.
One that we've disagreed on ever so slightly the whole year, really.
Yeah.
I'm in the Age of Ultron camp. Just about, you're in the Ant-Man camp, but I have agreed to move over to your camp. So best movie is...
You watched it again recently?
Ant-Man. No, I keep nearly watching it on planes and then not quite.
I think it's a cool story as well, because
Yeah.
I think on the year, like when we did our preview show for this year, that was the unknown quantity. And I think all the way up to its release, because of its, slight problems with its production, the Edgar Wright thing, people unsure about it, this weird character who never really had his own individual comic book series even.
Yeah.
What was this thing? Could this be Marvel's first flop? And obviously that's the narrative until Marvel do have a flop. It's like Pixar when they were just on like fire. You're always waiting for that one that just falls short of the mark. But this one's been a huge success.
Yep.
Been really successful internationally. The end of the year, they've already announced there's going to be a sequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is, I never thought that would happen at the end of last year. And I think it's just a really fun, sweet, good time movie.
Yeah. There's quite a lot wrong with Age of Ultron. There's a lot more wrong with Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
But there's very little wrong with Ant-Man. It's
And
just
well
it's
executed.
really solid, fun, good, clean family fun.
Yeah.
And that's what we like here at the Superhero Show.
Yeah. And there's a giant ant in it. Well, that's a dog.
Yeah.
So I look forward to seeing more of that in the sequel.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were the superhero awards for 2015.
We will, unfortunately, none of the winners could make it to the Superhero Show today, but we will, of course, be giving these awards to them in person.
Throughout next year.
Yep.
And yeah, it was the year of Vision and Ant-Man.
Yeah. So let us know what you think. The email address is, as ever,
superheroshowign.com.
and thank you for watching all year long.